Hey guys, I'm coming with you with not a cover and not exactly a depressed talk, but a rant of sorts because, I do be black though. I do be dark skinned black too. And with that comes hair struggles. So that's what I'm talking about today. Um, and my experience as a 16-year-old black girl in America who lives in a very small town that is a very white town and a very racist town, my hair experience is weird. Also, apparently, at least on my mom's side, my grandmother was born with pretty straight hair. She had like 2C level straight. Then my oldest aunt, she had like 3A. And my other aunt, she had like 3B, 4A hair. And my mom was the first of like the females in her part of the family to get like thick 4B, 4C hair. And so, because all of them were born with like thinner hair, they had no idea what to do with hers. And it was weird because I grew up, I was like, wow, because my mom always struggled trying to do my hair at first, like when I was really little, trying to like manage it because she just didn't know how to do my hair. And I was like, how come you don't know how to do my hair? Didn't you guys all get born with it? She's like, no one taught me how to do my hair because no one had my hair. And that was life changing. And plus, my mom has always straightened her hair and gotten perms. So she had the 4C hair, but never taken care of the 4C part of the 4C hair. So, as far as I'm concerned, my mom's side of the family, I am the first one to actually, do all of this. And with all of this came a lot of discourse. And surprisingly enough, most of my problems have been more within my own family or with my own mom about my hair. Because I've never had a time where I was ever ashamed of my afro. I loved my hair. I thought it was so unique and so different than everyone's around me. I liked how it stood up. I liked how it was puffy. I liked how it was wild and untamed and everything. I've always loved my afro, and I've always wanted to wear my afro because it was cool and I liked it. But uh what I didn't know is that it was not socially acceptable, nor was it cute at the time to be wearing that out the house because it was showed that you didn't take care of yourself. It's unkempt, it's unprofessional to wear an afro. You are not being cared for, you're like all of that jazz. Many implications of wearing your afro cuz I grew and we're talking like my childhood, so 2004 to 2013ish, when like right before like the real natural hair movement started, or at least in the midst of it, not before like it started to actually really become like popularized. And I don't even think it like really got popular until like 2015, 2016. I'm spitballing here, I don't know. um but at least for me at the time, like it didn't really become like that much of a problem until I got to middle school. It was like, oh, once I got to middle school, it's like, oh wow, you have an afro? That's crazy. I want an afro too, type of beat. But when I was in elementary school, that was not the case. But sometimes I would wear my afro anyway. And those were some days. And I remember specifically one day that still stands out to me, that, like, low key, I've kind of let it go, but not really. But, like, anyway, when I was, I believe this was fifth grade, so I was like, it's like 10, I wore my afro to school. I was so happy. It was like October, it was cold outside, and I was wearing this big afro, and I loved it, and I was having such a good time. All until one, I had a dude who I just met ask me, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And in 2021, that is a valid question because a lot of people dress androgynously. We have more people like who are prominently trans, prominently like gender non-conforming. All in all, to say, questions and questions. We were in fifth grade, but it made me feel really not feminine and like not validated as a woman whenever I got asked that question. So I didn't like said question. I still kind of don't. It still gets under my skin. Um, but like, I wore this afro to school and I was so happy. And then I got to my grandma's house. And as much as I love my family first of all is chaotic. At, to not even like there aren't words. There are not words. But when it came down to me and me doing things, when especially with my hair, oh boy. I came home and I was so happy and they just destroyed it. I remember so clearly walking into my grandma's kitchen. My grandma, my aunts were sitting there. And I had this big afro and they just looked at me like, "Your mom let you walk out the house looking like that?" And I was like, "Well, not really. I kind of brushed it out when I got to school." Cause I think what I did was I had my hair in a top ponytail. I took out the ponytail while I was at school. Um, and I was like, I like it. It's but like not really loudly because one, I was bad at communicating, and two, wow, you guys obviously don't like it. And like they just looked at me like I was gross. Like really looked at me like I was gross. Like they were genuinely disgusted by my hair. And it felt horrible because these are people who I was really comfortable with and really cool around, and like they just were just staring at me like, "Ew, you're so dirty." Like why did you why who let you come out the house like that? Like literally, and they're like, "Your mom," like, and they were just like, "I can't believe your mom let you leave the house like that." And that was the first ever time that I was like, besides the times previously where my mom like didn't let me wear the afro out, like that was like the first time I genuinely felt bad about it. And even after that, I didn't feel ashamed of having my afro. And I remember that day I cried not because of my hair. I didn't want to change my hair. I cried because why did they react like that? Why did they look at me like I was gross? And I remember telling my mom that specifically, and I remember her responding with, "They're looking out for you." Like they like what that like the general like you know they have your best interests in mind. And you know back then and even now I understand to a degree. Like back then I didn't understand as much. Like right now I kind of get where they're coming from because of like what like how I could be mistreated, how I could like be bullied and everything for my hair. But one, that was not what happened, and two, they were the only ones in my life that were being like that about my hair. I still have not I rarely ever get that I get comments, but it was most of the time that I felt horrible about my hair was because my family made me feel bad about it. I Despite growing up in like predominantly white town and then like a predominantly like white school, I didn't really have that much problem. Like people did not bother me about my hair. They bothered me about my hair. And but they never made me feel like I never really had like such a big problem. Now I think I had a guarded insecurity like oh, I was extra making my hair look a certain way because I felt weird about it because, all of that. And and then after that, I was like, the reason I wanted to wear my hair out is because the times where I really felt ugly was when I had my hair straightened. It started to puff up, so it was in that halfway state. Because I didn't really know how to take care of my hair, didn't know how to brush it and everything. So it'd just be this puffy mess in a ponytail. And I like my hair natural because, like, hey, it's all puffy now. It's like, I'd rather it be all puffy than it just being this weird. I looked crusty. I really did. I didn't like it. I still like how it looked. And like in elementary school, as far as like hair stuff, people didn't understand my hair. They didn't bully me necessarily, but they didn't understand how my hair worked. And I remember distinctly one of those days where my hair was half puffy and like my claim to fame was the edges of my hair. I could stand them up. They could just and I like to style it like that. Had fun with that. It was essentially like the blown out consistency. And I was in the bathroom trying to wash my hands after I used the bathroom, and there were a bunch of girls smoothing down their hair with water. A footnote. I went to a white town, but I went to a private school in that town, and the private school is made up of mostly Filipino Hispanic population. So most of the hair was like wavy or curly. Like we didn't have a terrible amount of curly people, and we did have quite a few black people, at least compared to the public school I'm going to in the same town. But anyway, all I'll say, they had smooth hair, and so when their hair got messy, they just used water and it would slick down. And so they were like, "Why don't you just wet your hair?" And I'm like, that's gonna make it worse." And then someone had the audacity to run up at me with a handful of water to go smooth my hair down for me. And I ran away because my mom would murder me because I still had only got my hair like straight like 2 weeks ago, which goes to show how fast my hair got bad. Which, side note, whenever I have kids, and if they have like my same hair texture, or honestly any hair texture, I'm letting them wear their hair however they want to. Because what is the point of making me feel bad about my hair when I'm going to feel crusty regardless? But at least let me have the happiness in the moment, you know? But anyway, getting ahead of myself. So that was like the start of like my, me and my natural hair. And mostly throughout my childhood, thank God my mom never permed my hair. She always braided my hair, which I love the braids. I'd always have like this assortment of side braids with beads on them, and I loved that style so much. I actually want to get my hair braided with beads again. I miss it, and it's like kind of coming back in popularity, but more chunky wooden beads rather than multicolored plastic beads, because 2000s and all that jazz. um but yeah, that's like, I've always loved my hair. I've always loved how different my hair was, how much I could do with my hair. So versatile. It was so nice and everything. Then we get to middle school. Middle school is weird because it was the first time I'd ever gone to a public school. First time I'd seen that many white people, but at the same time, first time I'd seen other religions because I went to a Christian private school, a closed off Christian private school. People were pretty uniform. Like, even though it was more technically racially diverse, everyone kind of looked the same regardless. You black, white, Hispanic, Asian, everything. That we just kind of had the same vibe because uniforms and then uniform mindset. You just don't get that much variety of people. So now I'm in this place that has all these different cultures and different beliefs, and I was like, wow. Well, look at all the variety. So it's like so weird looking back because now like, no, I literally 2% black people in my school. But anyway, I wear my hair out. Once I got to middle school, it was everything. Cause in third grade, that was when my mom let me wash my hair by myself. So by middle school, I was doing my hair, and my mom, like, I was like, I want to do my hair, and that's it. And so I did everything. I didn't do my top puff for a while because I couldn't get my grip around it. So I usually did buns and stuff and messed around with buns. I had so many different bun styles, like different ponytails and everything, and I loved it. Particularly one pretty cringy hairstyle I had was a faux hawk with like straightened hair where it's like curled down a line in 3 sections. I loved it, but at the same time, weird. And another thing, I've never really worn my hair in style, in trend. Trendy has never been my story. I've always wanted to just dress how I like. Now, yeah, what I like is influenced by other people. That's just how humans work. So, though, like nowadays I do dress, I do wear my hair in more trendy styles, but it's somewhat because the trends have shifted into what I like to do. And I see aesthetics, I see trends online that I like. They look cute, they look cool to me, and I like to dress that way. So that's my outside influence. And But what I didn't know was I was influencing other people. My example, my best friend Zamaya. She what you call it? She had when I first met her, she had these like little braided buns. She always do, but she always feels some sort of way about her hair to this day still. And she's had like her whole journey. Like she did braids a lot when she was younger too. But when we got to middle school, she told me this recently like that. Me wearing my hair on afros and like with the puffs and everything and natural like inspired her to do her hair more naturally, do her afro, and I was like, I am so happy because I love my afro. I wish everyone loved their afros because it's yours. It's your afro and it's your hair. Everyone should be able to wear their hair naturally as it comes out their head with no problems. So I was happy about that too. Still am. And now I'm at the point where I can tell that I'm starting to hit a barrier with my mom with like wearing my hair natural. So I have my natural hair, but like I'll get like a hair appointment every once in a while and get it straightened. My mom's like, you have to keep trimming it so it stays healthy. So Miss Nat will do it, and I'm like, yes, but I don't like straightening my hair that much because the more you straighten it, the more heat damage, and the more heat damage, the potential I'm ruining my curls, which one of the times we straightened it one too many times, and I felt like the curl pattern, like, break a little, so I was like, ha. So I stopped for I'm on that stop for, like, a couple of weeks. I want to get my hair braided more than I want to get straightened. I want to do braids. But I also get picky about braids. I think I'm going to do smaller braids, which are going to take forever, but I want to be able to style my hair while they're in the braids, because with jumbo braids, I don't like the style of like putting in ponytails with jumbo braids, so I want to get smaller braids. I want to get I want to get a braided bob with a chunky. I love that style. It's so cool to me. And with that one, I can actually do a lot of styles with it. So if it's like smaller braids, but they only come down to my shoulders, perfect. So that's what I want to do with that. But very recently, and kind of the thing I want to talk about, is when at my white school with my fellow people who don't have their natural hair out and don't like know how this works, is when I have a uniform and like have to do something like that. It gets awkward. Last year I put on I was in Rock of Ages, I was in ensemble, so it was 80s style. So I was like, hey yo, got my afro, and I felt on top of the world. Like, what a flex. What power there is in the fact that you guys have to come in here and curl, hairspray, tease your hair. And I just brushed it out. And as my mom pointed out, black people did not wear their hair in afros in the 80s. That was a 70s, 60s thing. I don't care. I was wearing my hair in the afro. Any excuse to wear my afro, I'm wearing it. So, anyway, I wear this afro, and I was the most recognizable person that wasn't part of the main cast because I'm the only black I'm the only black girl in my theater program. There's one black guy, and he's he's black and Hispanic, and I'm the only black girl. So, it gets fun. But the thing that was weird was Winter Guard. I don't think some people can understand that, like, if I can do my hair in straight styles, just adapted for my hair. It's kind of like when black people cosplay anime characters, and when they make them the black versions of said anime characters. Like, i.e., this woman, she dressed as Killua and had a white afro. Yeah, that type beat. So, for Winter Guard, we have our homemade uniforms. And it's like, oh, for styling your hair, how about we do a half up, half down, and like little braided sections behind the thing. And so, tell me why I had like 4 people come up to me and like, oh yeah, you could just do the wig. I'm like, I'm not putting on a wig. It's like, yeah, just a wig, you'll be fine. I'm like, I can put my hair half up, half down. I was like, I can't do that right now because I have my hair just a ponytail. I was like, I can't do it right now, but I'll come to the next rehearsal half up, half down, braided, and I'll do chunky braids. I'm like, it was just the amount of people who were like, ah, yes, wig. I'm like, One, I don't do wigs. Wigs don't do me. I don't do wigs. I can't. No. Especially since I don't own a wig. And wigs are expensive. Especially if you want them to not look like you've glued doll hair on your head. And I don't know how to glue it right. I don't know how to style it right. It's gonna look horrendous. And I despise with a passion, because I'm so passionate about people wearing their natural hair and feeling confident in their natural hair. I have nothing against people who wear wigs, but sometimes I can tell when people are just very insecure about their hair to the point where they just wear wigs, and not good because they're not don't know how to do them. It was fun. In my winter guard practice, there's two black, I'm not the only black person. There's three of us. But the other black girl, she wears her hair straight. I don't know if she has it perm, but she wears it straight all the time. I don't know if I've ever seen her with her natural hair. And that's actually most of the other black people in my school. Now, granted, there are what you call it, the popular black people, who they always have their hair back in they always have their hair slicked back with a fake ponytail. The only reason I know it's fake is because of the way that it's slicked back, and I found out the hard way that, my long hair, by long hair, I mean, I think I've shown my hair on this thing before, but yeah, my hair's pretty long for, my hair texture. Well, and so, I, no one's telling her to put on a wig, because they're like, oh yeah, she'll just do it the way we did it. And I'm like, that's my, claim to fame, is doing my hair in, straighter hairstyles that are trendy, but with my hair. I've done half of half down with my natural hair. I've done having the sections out with my natural hair. Key word, natural hair, and I've done it before. So I was like, ugh. And as shown by that other video I posted a couple days ago, I'm not good at speaking up for myself. Now, it didn't make me so deeply uncomfortable, but it's notable as hey, it's not like my hair is immobile. It's not a concrete brick, I promise. So I don't, I know, but I don't. It's because we've come to an age of oh yeah, progressiveness, we accept everybody, but unconscious bias exists. You don't know things. These are middle schoolers, some of them, so I'm that's why I don't give them shit about it. We're middle school and high school. Although when bigger problems occur and people say stuff like the N-word, people make racist jokes, and people defend the person and say, oh, but they're so young, oh, they didn't know, or they're too young to get this punishment. And I'm well, the person on the receiving end was too young to hear it. Yeah. When I get called a monkey at elementary school, it doesn't matter that the other kids were 6. I was also 6 getting called a monkey. That's the thing. So, getting off topic. My general point to say is, if you want to wear your natural hair, wear your natural hair. Do your hair how you want to do your hair. It will forever keep changing the standard, and it's absolutely crazy that we had to have stuff like the Crown Act so that you can actually wear your hair the way you want to in work, because apparently having curly hair is unprofessional. Okay. But, yeah, so, and I do get high-key concerned that I'm going to bump into more friction whenever I get to work, and, your hair is not exactly our standard. I'm ugh. I can't be picky choosy. I'm a black woman. That's picky choosy is all they're going to be with me, so. But, at the same time, if I get cornrows, that's not unprofessional. You're just racist. And I think that's my general statement. If you think my hair is unprofessional, you are just racist. That's no argument about that. So, that's my video for today. That's my TED Talk. Thanks for listening. If you did, probably no one's gonna see this, so you know, it is what it is. Maybe my 6 subscribers. Love you guys so much. Hopefully you guys watched this video. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully it made you feel good. Hopefully we established a good vibe today. And you already know what it is. You is kind, you is smart, you is important, and I love you so, so much. Bye.